Is set free from the 1800 meter marker. Not a bad beginning, this one. Sea Ventures right there. Mrs. Hotline, Eightfolds Lass going around them. Zagara's back in fourth position. Then Galway Girl. Martina's along the inside, and then comes Ruby Slippers. Parkdale is further back in the run at this stage, racing about 6 or 7 lengths off the leader, and then comes More Than a Dime. As they move away now to the 1300 meter region, and Eightfolds Lass leading it by about a length. The favourite Zagara's back in second, then comes Sea Venture. Mrs. Hotline's in fourth position. Galway Girl's back at the rail. That's racing about 4 lengths off the leader. Then comes Ruby Slippers. And further back in the run is Martina along the inside. And just on the outside of that, More Than a Dime and Parkdale. And it's Eightfolds Lass continuing to lead it as they move to the 900 meter region. Zagara's back in second. Sea Venture, the red cap, at the rail third, and then Mrs. Hotline's in fourth. Galway Girls further back in the run, then Ruby Slippers. 2 lengths to Martina, then More Than a Dime, and Parkdale's about 7 or 8 lengths off the leader. About returning to the home stretch now, and the leader, Eightfolds Lass, and Anton's getting rather urgent on Zagara on the outside, who comes under big pressure. Zagara's in trouble. Sea Venture's trying to go with it. On the outside, Mrs. Hotline. Down the inside, Galway Girl and Ruby Slippers. And Sea Venture becomes a big runner. On the outside, Mrs. Hotline. Eightfolds Lass won't go away on the inside. Eightfolds Lass trying to fight back at Sea Venture. And on the outside, Mrs. Hotline's making them all run. The last 100, Sea Venture, Mrs. Hotline on the outside though. Mrs. Hotline from Sea Venture, and it's going to go to Mrs. Hotline. Sea Venture second, Eightfolds Lass third, Ruby Slippers ran fourth, Zagara ran last. So the winner of this race is number 4, Mrs. Hotline, the Irish Flame, Brett Crawford, Donovan Dillon. They pay up 23 Rand 40 and 470. And this one for Hollywood Syndicate, nominee Anthony Delpesh, bred by Bruce LaRue. Sea Venture number 2 runs second, third to number 9, Eightfolds Lass. And the fourth position, Ruby Slippers, the tote favourite, was number 7, Zagara, came under early pressure, so there's obviously something amiss because that ran last. Tote favourite was number 7, Zagara. Here's Mrs. Hotline, who's coming on strong here. Last time out, went the 1600, and this time is over the 1800 metres, and they win by about 3/4 of a length. Until the running of race 5, I've given you those new starting times. Back to the studio.
Race number 4 at Hollywoodbets. Greyville's been run and been won by Mrs. Hotline, the Irish Flame filly, who we thought, and Peter thought, and we'll talk to him in a moment, could certainly do better than she served up last time, and she's put that last run to bed, and she's bounced right back to best, and in fact to winning ways. She looked outstanding in the parade ring. But before we go any further, let us congratulate Timothy, who is the groom of Mrs. Hotline, for your victory. Well done to you, Timothy. And I see there's a nice big smile behind the behind your mask. Well done. Congratulations, Mrs. Hotline. Looked outstanding in the parade ring. Thank you. Now we're going to talk to Donovan. And it was an exciting race. It was a tricky race, but it was an exciting finish. She's put them in their place here, hasn't she?
No, she has. She still won a little bit green though. Very, very good win. I must say all credit to Pete. She bounced out and she was a bit keen last time. And he went back to the drawing board. We did a lot of work with her back at home, teaching her to settle in behind. She's learned so much from that. She switched off beautifully today. And she quickened up when I wanted her to, and she put it to bed.
Warren Kennedy's horse Sea Venture gave you a bit of a tussle, but were you always confident from the saddle that you were going to get there?
Yeah, Warren. It was just a matter of when. She's still taking everything in, this filly. She's still a bit green in that, but I must say, again, all credit to Pete and his old team. They got an outstanding team back at Summerveld. And then also a big thanks to the whole of Hollywood. Really appreciate all their support.
Rest of your card, I know we're halfway through. Can we see you again?
I got one more, Warren. It's my best ride. I made it for the day. For Wendy, Lord Wiley. It's his first run out the maidens, but he's a horse that's showing necessary improvement after every start, and I think he's going to be quite a decent horse.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Lovely. Let's talk to Pete. Jubilant owners, and why not? Because and thanks to you for your feedback for the show and for you know, the times that we talked to you, because you explained this to the public, and she's certainly shown that she's got the ability, and she's won well.
Yeah, you know, her first run was on face value very disappointing. She was very fresh going into the race, over raced and capitulated early in the straight. Since then she's come on significantly, physically, mentally. Her work has improved no end, and I still think there's further improvement to come from her. She's you know, she's just probably getting there, and she's a maturing filly who will stay any sort of trip. I'm sure she'll go 1.5 miles on her head. So there's probably a lot to look forward to with her.
Peter, she looked outstanding in the paddock, as I said on air. There were a couple of them that looked outstanding, but she was one of them, and lightly raced, and I think the team are going to have some fun with her. Most definitely. She's taken to our feed regime very well. She's one of those horses, she just won't stop eating, so hence, you know, she looks very healthy in her coat, and she'll still progress more again on that front. But I'd like to thank Owen Heffer and Hollywood Syndicate very much for their support. Absolute pleasure dealing with professionals, with Anthony at the helm. It's a great pleasure to have them on board. Now, before you go, and Graham asked you the question, and you said tongue-in-cheek that you don't like answering those questions, but you've got other runners to come. Can you have another winner? Well, we've got 2 horses who were very well drawn, 1 and 2 in the last race over the 1100 metres. Jobbo Jacobs, unfortunately, is injured, and he normally rides Kingston Rock. Right. So we've opted for Keegan DeMilo, so it effectively puts him 2.5 kilos up in the handicap. But I think the 1100 metre trip today will be ideal for him. He seems to get run down late all the time, and I just hope the wind turns. But he's very well, and he should be a runner. Even the other horse in the race, Anton, gets on very well with him. He won his maiden very well on him, Valiente, and he certainly could run into the money as well. All the best to you, and thank you for your contribution. Many winners to come, I'm hoping. Well done. Thank you very much. There we go. Peter Muscat, always a pleasure to chat to you. Let's get Anthony and James into the scrum, and lovely to have them both on course. And yeah, the hits are coming now, which is fantastic. And Anthony, you've got to be pleased with the way this filly looked in the paddock and with her performance on the course. Yeah, she did really look exceptional in the parade ring, and obviously she needed her last run quite badly, and she had come on a lot. And yeah, she had a lovely race. Everything went perfectly in the race. Donovan rode a fantastic race. But it's fantastic that we've got our brand ambassador here, Mike Proctor, which could lead her in. So very nice to have him. I think he's a good luck charm, so he better come to race a bit more often. It'll be lovely to talk to him. Can't we get him to come and talk to us? Yeah, I think it'll be fantastic. Come, Mr. Proctor, just have a few words. Wonderful, absolutely. And very well done to the breeders, Bruce LaRue. Wonderful, thank you, Anthony. Mr. Proctor, lovely to have you on course. Anthony says you're the lucky charm, and he's got to be right. Well done.
Thanks very much. No, very exciting, and it's great to be involved with Hollywoodbets, and you know, having someone with Ant's experience is fantastic to have around. It's just wonderful to have them in racing, and just like all of us, they eat, breathe the sport, and every win is a good one. Absolutely. You know, you can't beat a winner. It's something which is just inbred. A winner, whether it wins a maiden or wins a July handicap, the same thing. It's a fantastic feeling. Wonderful to have you here. Congratulations with Mrs. Hotline, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks very much, Ron. Lovely. Nice to have Mr. Proctor here, and James is here. As we said, everybody's on course, and thanks to James for his contribution, and no doubt he was instrumental in finding Mrs. Hotline. Anthony's here, Mr. Proctor's here. They're all here, and they're loving every second of it. This filly has won well. Make a note of her. She's put her last run to bed. The numbers 4-2, 9 and 6. Race 5 at the adjusted time is up next.